Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats.
You know, it can take some fairly unique situations to snap us out of those ruts that we all fall into in life at one stage or the other. And guess what? If you're within the sound of my voice, that must mean you're in the seats with once more. As always, my name is Dave Voigt, and I'm the host of this podcast, where we sit down with a wide-ranging variety of entertainment industry professionals, and we pick their brain about current projects, state of the industry, how they got started, and so very much more in a light and in a conversational fashion. And, you know, if you like how we do things around here, I'm going to assume that you do, because let's face it, you're listening right now. And if you are, keep listening and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, give us a little 5-star rating on your podcast provider of choice. We're available pretty much everywhere, places like Apple, Amazon, Spotify, Google. And plus, we archive every single one of our episodes over at our In the Seats YouTube channel, so give us a like and subscribe there as well, because we would appreciate it. Also, don't hesitate to check us out on social media. We're on the Facebook, the Twitter, the Instagram, Letterboxd, the TikTok, the Tumblr, the Threads, the Blue Sky. I'm losing track. There's so many. But we're everywhere at In the Seats for all sorts of fun updates. And finally, and I do dare say most importantly, please come by, pay us a visit over at In the Seats, intheseats.ca for all the latest and greatest from the world of film, television, basically the moving image at large. Because guess what? If we love to watch it and write about it and talk about it, we love it that much more when you come by and read about it and listen about it. So please do us that kindness. Come on by and pay us a visit. True believers, you are hearing my voice. It is me. It is your host, Dave Voigt. And yes, I've been a little lax in getting regular episodes up lately. Life, as always, tends to get in the way sometimes. But we're going to do better with this. At least we're going to try anyway. Because, you know, there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of movies going on. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of quality stuff, really, that you should go see. Much like a movie that is in theaters today. A little Canadian gem called Darkest Miriam. And it's the story of Miriam, who's living in this fog. And she's working at this downtown library. And she's starting to come out of it when there's this love affair happening, but it also coincides with her receiving these threatening letters, which are odd and a little off-putting, and it's the whole combination of the thing is showing us how her sheltered existence is about to sort of crack open like an egg and really sort of come into a different universe. It's really a portrait on just sort of how we can closet ourselves in and how we can sort of find a way to sort of, you know, block out the world when we need to, although sometimes it forces us not to. We got to see this movie a long time ago back at Fantasia, and it was really an interesting piece. And like I said, it is in theaters right now. We had the chance to talk with co-writer and director Naomi Jaye about the making of the film and the development of it all. And I hope you enjoy it, because it's a good talk, and go check out Darkest Miriam, which is in theaters in Toronto at least now, and I'm sure it's going to be in a few other places as well. But check out Darkest Miriam and enjoy our talk with Naomi Jaye, because between you and me, it's a pretty darn good one. All right, well, Naomi, just first off, just thank you so much for the time today. I really appreciate this. And I
My
mean,
pleasure. My
congrats on
pleasure.
the film. I loved it.
Thank you.
Now, I mean, I guess the first question is walk me through sort of the origin of Darkest Miriam, because I mean, as a single city dweller, it felt like really like almost a bit of a mediation on sort of how we can be alone in a world of noise almost in many ways. And it really was a fascinating thing to watch this character and how, like, sort of how she had to sort of deal with the external forces around her.
Yeah. I mean, I came to the project, it's an adaptation. So I found the book 14 years ago, and it was just something that I immediately fell in love with. The cover design, and then I opened it, the quality of the paper. There was just something about this book and the way that it's structured, the way that it's formatted as 144 small incidents that take place over the course of, however many months in this woman's life. Um, and then there was something particular about this character, the world that she inhabited. It was so internal, the way that she kind of would record all of these small funny things that would happen in the library, and then start writing about herself and her life and her past and her present and this love affair that she starts. And it just felt really familiar. I can't quite, there was just something about it that felt so familiar, the way that this woman kind of was in the world. And so then I immediately wanted to make it into a film, and it just took a really long time to do. But oh, I don't know if you can hear, there's a very loud plane going by.
Oh no, no worries, no worries. But I mean, it has such a strong visual aesthetic. I mean, just sort of the use of the stacks and just sort of this closed off kind of feel. Can you talk a little bit about, excuse me, crafting sort of this visual world for Miriam? Because I mean, again, I really felt like sort of how you presented this visually added so many more layers to the character.
Well, I mean, I mean, what I discovered over these like very many years trying to get it done is that adaptation is a really interesting thing because, of course, when you're reading a book, everything is internal. And
Right.
then you have to figure out a way to externalize all of it. So that obviously becomes the visual language of film. So, it was just, and again, being with it for so long, I think things just like over time, you slowly, it's like water and you take a pass and a wave goes by and a wave goes by. And then you're left with this kind of quality of image that stays with you or that feels like it's undulating in some way. And it just became, that's what the visual language became. And we found a great library where we were shooting in Hamilton. The library was actually two locations. The Stacks was this McMaster University library, and then the main floor of the library we built in a shop that had been like vacant for I don't know how long. So we were kind of like stitching together these two locations, but the stacks in that library, they were so tall that you really felt like she was enveloped by books. And that was a really important image and theme, that she was this woman who had surrounded herself with books as a way to kind of escape the world.
No, I mean, it's the old joke, but they say 90% of the job is casting. And I mean, just to see Britt in this role, she does such a fantastic job. Can you talk a little bit about, I guess, sort of narrowing down your search to find the right person to play Miriam? Because I mean, again, the way she played it, it's the character has to be there, but also not be there at the same time. Like she has to be borderline forgettable, but still very engaging.
Yeah, yeah, she's extraordinary. She's just an extraordinary person and an incredibly talented actor. And we were working with casting directors out of New York, Rory and Carly, and they brought her forward. They brought her up. I didn't know who she was. I hadn't heard of her before. They brought her forward, and they said to me, just go and watch Severance. And I watched the first scene of Severance in the first episode where she is in the boardroom.
Oh, right, yeah, yeah.
And there was something about that. I literally watched the scene and then I wrote them. I was like, we need to get her. Like, we need her. She's fantastic because she was so, there's a quality to her voice and there was something so feral about her performance. It was so engaging and so filled with energy. I was like, oh my God, this woman, I really just, I think she's going to be amazing. And then we spoke, and she's such an interesting person and a kind person and a really talented actor. So it is 90% is casting, and she just is great. I mean, I would joke all the time because Tom as well, his performance is really strong, really, really strong, and they were really well prepared and just a pleasure to work with. So I was like, great, let's do it again a bit differently this time. Like I really didn't have to say anything because they really were that good, They just got it. We spent a lot of time talking and we had some rehearsals, and then they were just fantastic.
How important was it for you to keep, I guess, the nature of just sort of this period in her life a little ambiguous? Because I mean, again, I mean, obviously with Charlie's name as an executive producer, there's going to be some parallels drawn, but it's one of those things where it felt like you weren't being overt with sort of the use of genre, but it was still kind of there. And I mean, I think that's why I appreciated it, because it's one of those things where it felt like you were very much leaving this up to sort of the viewer on where Miriam was taking us as we sort of saw her story.
I mean, the book is not a linear book. The book is set out in these tiny little granular moments in someone's life. And then over time, the kind of the immensity of what is happening to her is felt because of accumulation. So it's not, it would the intention was never for it to be this linear journey.
Right.
You're having moments, like that's how I experience the world as well, which is why I guess this book felt so familiar to me, that you have all of these moments that make up a life, and it's not necessarily linear. Time passes in a linear way, but it doesn't mean that the experiences happen in a linear way, although of course they do. I mean, we could get really into it, but of course they do, like for most people anyway, they
Yeah.
do, right? there's just something about that, about the fact that you have these little like memories and moments, and the past can be very present, but it's happened in the past. So things don't happen in a straight line or in a direct way. And I appreciate films that don't tell you everything. I appreciate films that leave you with a bit of a puzzle, or films where it really is more about world and tone than about narrative story, a narrative arc.
Well, I mean, that's life in general, though, isn't it? Because, I mean, in many ways, it's, I mean, we expect sort of an A to B to C, but life it's tragedy, it's comedy, it's painful, it's beautiful, it's sad, it's happy, kind of all at the same time. And that's the joy of it is navigating your way through it. And I mean, it's one of
Yeah.
those things where this to me felt like a very much, I guess, a testament to just, I guess, almost the human existence. I know that sounds loaded, but especially in this day and age of where we're all kind of super connected, it's so easy
Yeah.
to not be at the same time.
Yeah, yeah. There's something I am a huge Krzysztof Kieslowski fan, and there's something about his films that I always treasure, which are these moments where I'm watching a character do something on screen and I have no idea why I'm watching them do it. I always think of the film Red, where I've forgotten who it is. Anyway, she's drinking after a ballet class. She's drinking a bottle of water, and she's drinking and drinking and drinking, and the shot is long. And you're watching her drink water, and I'm like, this is the most engaging, beautiful shot. I have no idea why he wants me to watch her drink water right now, but I'm in. I'm engaged, and I'm loving whatever he's doing. And it's the same thing. It's like these kind of benign moments that actually are the important moments, or these memories that you have, or these glimmers that come to you and feel very present, but they happened a long time ago. It's all a muddle and mixed up. And as you say, it's present and past at the same time. It's happy and sad at the same time. It's, alone and together. It all happens kind of um, in a way that is not linear. So, yeah.
Well, and I mean, I think we're seeing more and more of this as well because it's one of those things where, especially when, we've had issues of sort of grief or sadness or sort of change in the human condition that sort of happens to all of us at one stage or another in our lives. We've seen traditional cinema and traditional storytelling going, oh, this is how you grieve. This is how you do this. This is how you do that. And then you're fine. That's all bullshit. You just have to sort of do it and then sort of figure it out. And this to me felt like one of those things where, as we see Miriam, it's just a question of it's not about an answer, it's about the journey.
Yeah, there's no, I mean, anyone who has lived a day in the world knows there's no right or wrong way to do anything, and there's no
Right.
proper or improper way of experiencing love or grief or happiness or sadness. It's just something, if you allow yourself to just kind of be with it, then it will manifest in all sorts of strange and wonderful ways. And yeah, that's exactly what you say. That's what it is to be a human. Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm curious, as you're making something like this, do you know when you have it? Like, do you know, okay, this is working or this is not working? Like, or does it all come together sort of in post? Like, when do you, as the sort of creator and filmmaker, get to have that moment of, wait a minute, this might actually be working?
Yeah, that's not linear either, because you can have, like, it is true that a film is made at least three times. Like, you
Mm,
write it, you film it, and then you do post.
yeah.
And so when I was writing it, I was like, oh, this is interesting. And then when I was filming it, I was like, I have a beautiful film. And then in the edit, it did not turn out to be what I thought it would be. So I think I teach film as well. And what I always tell my students is, you just need to step aside and let the best of what it is that you made emerge somehow and congeal into this thing that will be your film. You just have to let go of everything that you thought was and just look at what can be or what is. So that's a long answer to at several moments throughout the process. I thought, wow, this is going to be great. And then the next moment I was like, oh my God, this is awful. What are we going to do? And then you would like go up again and down again. So it's a real ride until things kind of solidify in a way. And of course that takes a super long time.
No, I mean, having to do the festival circuit, I mean, obviously, the Tribeca, you're going to get Fantasia. Uh, can you turn sort of the academic off when you're in the middle of this process, or do you just have to sort of run with it? Because I can imagine as someone who teaches film as well, if you're in the middle of a film festival experience, I can imagine it can be a little nerve-wracking on a different level, not just as the filmmaker, but also as sort of an instructor of someone going, okay, now this, you can almost, as the teacher, you can probably see your flaws more than most.
Yeah, but I don't. I mean, not to say that I don't, but I don't. I don't pick it apart. I think also it's still kind of fresh. Maybe in 10 years I'll be like, that's not a great shot, or
Right.
But right now I'm still like, oh, look, this thing. And I had at Tribeca, I had never seen it on a big screen. That's the first time I saw it on a big screen. So I was just like, whoa, look at that. It's pretty. Like it looks nice. So no, it's still kind of fresh, even though it was a long process, the final product is still fresh enough that I just am enjoying it.
No, I mean, just to start putting a bow on this, it's a dumb question, but it's one I always like to ask. Can you think back to a movie or a moment in your life where the light bulb went off and you said, you know what? I want to do this. This is what I want to do.
Make films, you mean?
Yeah.
No, no, I came to it pretty late. And it was just this kind of thing in my head. I was 25 when I decided I think I want to make a movie, but I promise you I didn't even know what that meant. I studied theater design and I was doing costume design at the time for like really low budget Canadian, like really bad Canadian, series. God bless. And I just thought, oh, I think I want to direct. And so I actually went to the New York Film Academy. I looked up, like there was no online. I was just like, how am I going to figure this out? What is a really short way to figure out if this is what I want to do or not? And there was like a 3-month course or something. So I went to New York and I was like, oh, and that was when I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do.
Well, I love that. I mean, it just how diverse everyone's story is when they sort of get their foot in the door of the entertainment industry. Because I mean, there is no linear path, much like the film. It's you just have to sort of get in
No,
there and experience it,
yeah,
and then sort of figure it out along the way.
yeah.
But just again, thank you so much for the time today. For more people to see it, I think it's been
Oh,
great.
it's been lovely chatting with you.
And don't forget to visit our friends over at Bay Street Video for all your DVD, Blu-ray rental, or purchasing needs this summer, as they are still open for curbside and some mailing delivery as well. Over at 1172 Bay Street, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, you can give them a call at 416-964-9088. That's 416-964-9088. Or send them an email at baystreetvideoto@gmail.com for any of your DVD and Blu-ray needs.